Thank you. Can you hear me? Yeah, good. Okay, if you can't hear me, I want you to wave in the back. So it is a great honor to be with you today. I'm going to talk today about will you choose freedom? And the one thing I can promise you is when you choose freedom, you get to hang out with some pretty wonderful people, including you get to meet Terry Bidet and Gideon and the other wonderful people from the Forum for Democracy. So thank you for having me here. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to live in one of the most beautiful countries in the world. One of the reasons I chose to live in the Netherlands is because you have as great of farmers in the world as ever. So a round of applause for the farmers. So to be free, we need food, but we need free transactions. So I want to talk to you not about our decisions as a whole. I want to talk to you about your decision. Will you, each one of us, will you choose freedom? So we have the power individually to shift the entire state of affairs, but each one of us must use our power, we must understand our power, and we must choose freedom with all of our choices, not just when we vote for political representation, but every day in every way. So spiritually, our powers and our intention have great power. Scientists have proven that our intention can influence material reality, including at great distances. Culture, our attention, our habits, our associations, for heaven's sakes, after we've heard what we've heard today, whether we homeschool or we create new schools like the Renaissance Institute is trying to do. Financial, this is where we have incredible power. We just heard about the new app. Our purchases, where we work, are what we create, our inventions, our banking, our savings, our investments, our donations, our taxation. For many years, I worked as an investment advisor, and one of the things I discovered was many people who said they were for freedom were financing tyranny. So look at your balance sheet, look at your financial statements, ask the question, are you financing freedom or are you financing tyranny? Communications, what we say, what we do. I just saw a marvelous T-shirt with mistletoe for Christmas, and it said, ready to talk politics at Christmas. So obviously how you vote, how you lobby, how you take action politically. So what I mean is whether it's spiritual, whether it's cultural, whether it's political, whether it's financial, every way we act is a vote. And if enough of us get together, it's going to make a huge difference. So I want to flesh out your two choices, because we can take action for freedom now, or we can stay comfortable and convenient, and I want to show you what those two options look like. If we don't choose freedom now, you heard a very good presentation from Arno Wellens about CBDC. For many, many years, we've seen digital technology move to build a corral, fences around each of us, digital fences of control, surveillance systems, systems that influence, propaganda. And as they come up, it's like a herd of cattle who have fences coming up around them. So think of us as having 3 fences around each one of us. And what CBDC and digital IDs and vaccine passports will do is they will snap into place a 4th fence. And when that fence snaps into place, we are locked down financially and digitally. I call it digital concentration camps. This technology can turn our homes, our cars, and our communities literally into digital concentration camps. When I say that, people don't believe that the vision is this dark, but I want to show you 3 videos to give you a sense of what this feels like. The first video is Augustine Carsons, who is he's the general manager of the Bank of International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland. Who here knows who the BIS is? So this is the central bank of central banks. 63 central banks are members of the BIS from Basel, Switzerland. The rarest thing in the world is to see a central banker tell you the truth. Now you're going to get to see a central banker tell you the truth, a very rare moment.
All our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash. And there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
Can you hear me? What he just told you is if you're not allowed to buy chocolate, your money won't work to buy chocolate. If you're not allowed to go more than 5 kilometers from your home, your car or your money won't work more than 5 kilometers from your home. And those rules can be dictated and controlled at a phenomenally central level. We're talking about the end of sovereignty. So this is taxation without representation. If I want to double taxes and just take it out of your account, no problem. The nominee for Office of Controller of Currency in the United States last year, fortunately she wasn't voted into the position, she wrote an article for the Vanderbilt Law Review and published it and said, it's no problem dealing with inflation, you just freeze everybody's bank accounts because with CBDC you can do that. Okay, this is Richard Werner, the top academic scholar in the world on central banking. He wrote the book and did the documentary, The Princes of the Yen, about the Japanese central bank. Here he is in Malmo, Sweden, in May.
Also, they never talk about the nature of this CBDC. What is it actually going to look like? They never talk about that. Right. But I heard one European central banker tell me what it's going to look like. He saw it. He was invited to one of the old central banks in Europe that are very much promoting this. And they showed him. And, you know, he's a top, executive director of another central bank in Europe, and there's no reason to believe that he was telling me a story. And he was around this large and would be implanted under your skin. So that is the plan.
Right.
And of course, that has other implications on top of what we've mentioned, on top of the control aspects, because that actually enters your body. In my view, violates human dignity and can be then used for, even in terms of functionality, beyond the monetary and economic transaction purposes. So highly dangerous and definitely something we have to oppose. And so using cash is one of the things we can do to make sure that the hurdle will be higher for the central planners to introduce the CBDC.
It's fair to say that everybody who's in Mama listening to Richard started using cash with a vengeance. Okay, and finally, I'm from America, and in America, many of us love Kanye West, who just had his bank accounts. He's a billionaire, very successful career in the entertainment industry. He's a billionaire. He just had his bank accounts frozen by J.P. Morgan Chase, and here he talks about what it's like to be a billionaire and have your money frozen and not be able to use your Apple Pay account. The audio's not working. Okay, so I skip ahead, but we'll put the slides up on our website. It's very charming. There's a new documentary just published by Debunk Productions. You can stream it online. It's called State of Control. Yes. If you want to know more, great interviews with Arno Wellens. If you want to know more, check out State of Control. we did a wrap-up on CBDC, which has now been published in Dutch by Blue Tiger, if you're interested, and I think we have copies at our table. Okay, so I told you I would tell you one choice. One choice is to do nothing, and it leads to a very dark place. The other choice is to choose freedom, and one of the people we use to represent our choice of freedom is Wim Hof. He was Hero of the Year last year on the Solari Report. We're all big lovers of Wim Hof. Is there anybody else who does Wim Hof here? Yeah. So I want to tell you why I chose freedom. I chose freedom in 1998 when I walked out of the establishment. And what happened was, when digital technology first developed and the web first developed, I was very excited about the possibilities of what local economies could do. So you heard Terry talk about the app, what it was possible if we started to transact and do business and finance each other. And so I did a series, I built a big database infrastructure and did many simulations. And what I discovered, that if we were free to run the economy with free transactions and freedom, that the wealth potential was so mind-boggling. When I finally realized what the truth was, I couldn't stop laughing for about a week, because it was so, if you're an investment banker and you love to create wealth, it was so exciting. And what I discovered when I did that is words cannot express to you how expensive and how destructive tyranny is. There is no reason that our economy can't work. There is no reason that we can't have a human civilization. There is no economic reason for poverty. But what I will tell you is central control is expensive, and it is destroying our civilization, and it is destroying wealth, but it can work. And as soon as I saw the potential, I said, okay, I choose freedom. Okay, I used to work as an investment advisor, and I had a former client call me about, it's right after the World Economic Forum really exploded out into the media. And she said to me, I've just sold a big piece of real estate, and I want to know, should I reinvest the money in real estate, or should I reinvest the money in precious metals? And I said, what is it about it's 2030 and you have no assets that you don't understand? These people intend to take all your assets. So you need to take a big chunk of that money, this is a very wealthy person, and you need to finance your army. Because if you don't have an army protecting your assets, you will not have any assets. So it's up to each person as you choose freedom to decide who you want your army to be. But I assure you, one of the things we all need to be in the business of is supporting and financing with our money the people who are going into the forum and defending us and defending our property rights. So today we wanted to make a contribution. In the back of the hall next to us is a table for the Solari Report. We publish wrap-ups quarterly and annually, and we try and help people understand what's happening in the economy. We did one on the state of our currencies, one on the reset, one on CBDCs, one on vaccine passports, one on sovereignty with the cover of Wim Hof. They are all in the back of the room, and we are selling them, and the proceeds will all go to the Renaissance Institute of the Forum for Democracy. And I just have to tell you, coming into the Netherlands and having the opportunity to live here, I'm so impressed by what Terry and Gideon and all their colleagues are doing, particularly with the Renaissance Institute. I think it's the kind of real long-term solutions we need. So we like actionable intelligence. Actionable intelligence is intelligence that gives you an option to turn your boat before you hit the iceberg. This is one of our favorite cartoons, a woman checking out at the grocery store, and the checkout woman says, she's wearing a little badge that says New World Order, and she says, cash or slavery? Just so you understand. when you go to the Solari report, if you would like some of these wrap-ups to support the Renaissance Institute, you can either pay with cash, and if you don't have cash, you'll get a little card, and it's got the banking information on an honor system where you send the money to the Renaissance Institute, and you can keep that and send money to them regularly. Speaking of financing your army. So you have to forgive me, I'm an investment banker, so I have to pitch. So will you choose freedom? I want to emphasize you have no idea how powerful you are. One of my favorite allies is a man named John Rappaport. He says, hopelessness is an op, and it's planet-wide. Our situation is not hopeless. If enough people make this shift, there is amazing things we can accomplish. I was reminded during the Civil War, the Revolutionary War in the United States, George Washington, the first president of the country, said, "It's hopeless, all hope is lost." But it wasn't. Some ornery folks in Tennessee turned the war, and there you go. So I tell you, choose freedom. If you look at our choices, it's slavery or whatever we can create. And I will tell you, we have whatever is on that pathway to freedom, it's better than the other choice. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
I love that. Thank you so much.